Hey guys, how are you? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey. How you doing? What up, what up, what up, dog? Hey guys, how are you today? Hey love, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome for everybody who's jumping in. As you know, on Fridays, we try to get up in here about 8:15, 8:30 at the latest. Hey love, how are you? We try to get in here so we can have a live. In these lives on Fridays, we have Q&A sessions. We talk about whatever we feel like talking about. These are your opportunities to ask me any questions you want to ask me. Make sure just some ground rules. Yay, your first live. Yay. Ground rules, guys. Make sure you know that this is an opportunity for you to ask questions. But if you have personal questions or you want to know something in particular and you feel like you need to explain the story, it'll be best for you to do a one-on-one with me pertaining to that. I'm not holding you up to ask questions, nothing wrong with that, but if it's something that you kind of want to tell me more about so you can get a more precise answer, then no, this is not going to be the place for that, because I don't want you to have to detail everything and I'm just focused on you and other people are trying to get their questions answered. Also, I don't want anybody scared to ask questions. This is a safe place. We don't have drama here, so you're good. You can ask whatever you want to ask. I'm an open book, so you can ask me whatever you want to ask me as well, and I'm going to be transparent with you guys. So this is your opportunity to, ask whatever you want to ask. So go right ahead. Everybody start formulating your questions. I'll read the question out, and I'll go from there with answering the questions for you guys. And you know me, I'll go in much detail as I can for you guys pertaining to whatever that question is. So I want to say welcome, welcome to everybody's here, all the newcomers, all my people who are always with me, people who, sometimes you got to work and you was able to catch it this time. So welcome. Thank you. Thank you guys for even just getting on with me. I appreciate it every time that I see you guys start popping up, just to know that what I do matter, and I enjoy what I do. So updates is everybody's starting to, as y'all formulate your questions, as y'all know, first ground thing is next weekend we are having our monthly, I'm about to say, so we have a monthly support group call, video chat, and I'm going to have Dr. Parker on, and she's absolutely amazing. She's a herpes, I mean, not herpes, but she is a sex educator. And she also helps with relationships and intimacy and dating. So she's going to teach us how to date in this new era. And the good thing is she understands the STD. I have worked beside her before, so she knows me very well. She know what I do. So this is going to be a great opportunity if you want to kind of learn how to date within this new era and how people get down, and kind of ask questions pertaining to dating. I know we want to know pertaining to herpes, but hey, get some tips pertaining to dating, dealing with different situations. In the dating world now. She's good at what she do. She just got her doctorate. She don't had a doctorate for a year, so I'm super proud of her. She's good. She's good. So you do not want to miss it. Make sure you get that information to sign up for that. I'm going to put it in the community section after we get off here, so you can sign up for that. You'll get signed up and go to the email list, and you receive all the information pertaining to that coming into the next week. Okay? So that is for men and women. Don't feel like me and you are left out. You can jump on that with me as well, with us as well. On top of that, we have the Overcoming Gathering Conference Tour that is creeping, guys. As we know, we're going a total of 8 cities. We already Atlanta down. Next is North Carolina. And we're going all the way out. We're going from February, breaking March, and then April all the way to October. So guys, get excited. I'm really excited to meet all you guys, hug you guys, love on you guys. I'm looking to see you guys in North Carolina, Alabama, New Orleans, Texas, Maryland, New York, and Houston. So I'm excited about all that. I know I have my people who are Midwest or West Coast. Not there yet, guys. I'm starting off close to home. But after that, we will go from there. So this year, this is where I'm going. Now, if I have speaking engagements, things of that nature, and I'm on that side of town, best believe I want to do a pop-up meeting or pop-up meet and greet to meet you guys and take advantage of the event. I mean, take advantage of the trip. No, I'm not coming to Chicago right now. Right now, I'm focusing on the close southeast. Chicago, y'all in the middle. I'm not coming that way. But I'm coming to New York. That's the closest. And they begged me to come there, and I wasn't going to go. So they begged me to come. But remember, it's only me. I like traveling, but I do have children and things of that nature. So I travel, but I try to travel light as possible. But my goal is you just never know what happens. That may be the case. But just right now, we're in the Southeast. And I know this tour is not the first time we'll ever have a tour. I'm going to come out and go to other places. But this is my start. She said, what did my shirt say? It said, you sleep like you're rich and I'm up like I'm poor. Yep. This is the guy who did it. Yep. I had this shirt for 2.5 years now. This shirt is bad. I love this shirt. I love this shirt. This guy's awesome too. So those are the things that's coming up so far. Those are the two main things that's happening so far this year that you guys can, well, this month, I know you can take advantage of the monthly call. And then this year, if you want to meet me, then the Overcoming Gathering Conference is your best opportunity to get there. Y'all have time. That's the good thing is everything is available now. All tickets are available now. So you can grab tickets now. Just know it's only 50 spots per city. So when they're gone, they're gone. I'm not opening it up no more than that because I want it to be intimate and we get to, mingle, and I can really assist you guys when it get kind of big. It kind of makes it a little difficult to kind of really connect with everybody. So I love connecting. So I want to make sure I keep it small, especially for my first tour. And then after that, things tend to grow after that. So. But this is your opportunity. That information is in the community section as well. So, and y'all know y'all can do one-on-ones with me. I'm available for those as well. So I'm waiting on you guys to kind of give me some questions. What y'all questions? You say you always looking flawless. Girl, thank you. Thank you very much. They say, I heard black tea is good for the virus. It is. It is. It's really good. Drink it. Girl, when are you going to write a book? I already did write a book. I'm writing 3 more books, as a matter of fact. My goal is to write 3 more books. But I already wrote a book, Overcoming What Can't Be Cured, Living Beyond Herpes. I wrote that book 2 years ago. That was my first story telling when I first found out, when I got pregnant with my first son, when I met my husband, and when I was married. And then my next book is going to be talking about me coming out of my marriage and how I go back into the dating world, which I'm sure that's what y'all really want to know too. And then I have 2 other ones that I am really excited about talking about. Talking about, the mental of herpes. And then also something just to encourage some ladies. I got a book for the women to empower us. She said, I have that. I'm proud of you. Yay! Thank you. What should a person do if they know a friend has H and they will not disclose? What you do is talk to your friend. I mean, that's all you can do. It's not your job to disclose for them. Their sexual history and their partners is none of your business, because you will never want somebody to tell anything about you. But what you can do is go to that friend and say, do you need help disclosing? Half of the time, your friends just don't know how, and they're scared. So just tell them, do you need help disclosing? I found this girl, she can help you, whatever. And let me help them. It's just that simple. Most people don't disclose because they don't know how. That's really the case. So don't look down at your friend or all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's not right. But when you're scared, we'll do stuff that we have no business doing, So the only thing you can do is say, friend, I understand. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but I want you to be safe. I never want anybody to do nothing to you because you're not disclosing. If you need some help disclosing, I can help you figure that out and all that stuff like that. But, I just don't want you doing that for the sake of your health and the sake of other people's health, because you wouldn't want somebody to do something to you and don't tell you, and if your friend chooses to want to do what they want to do, you're going to have to take it for what it is. And then you're going to have to kind of reevaluate that friendship because your friend need to get themselves together. And I know it's going to be hard on you because it's already bothering you now that your friend is not disclosing. But you cannot control that. And please do not get involved in trying to tell people on their behalf. Keep your mouth shut. They ain't got nothing to do with you. Please don't do that. They made their own decision. And he is bi. That's fine. He has to get to a place where he feels comfortable with disclosing, especially if he's living, you know, especially since he like men and women, it can be fairly difficult to share that information when he's used to not have to disclose, but he's probably just struggling with learning how to disclose, and just show him one of my videos or something like that to kind of assist him, because, you know, you're his friend, but if, I don't know if you had a virus, but at the end of the day, sometimes even when you had a virus, sometimes people don't feel like you can relate to them or you can help them. But no, I'm not bi, but at the end of the day, I can probably get some tips on how to disclose, because I have helped individuals of sexual preferences, and I help them. They're getting married and different things, or staying in a relationship. So it all works across the board. So my best friend got his results. Oh, sorry. You can't do nothing but wait until he or she is ready. Correct, love. I know it's kind of scary. Now, I'll give y'all a story. So when I was in college, my close friends knew. So I have 1, 2, 3. At that time, I had 3 really close friends. Okay, we were all in college. And I told them right away. Okay, so I started living my life again. I was in denial. If anybody watched my video pertaining to I did not tell him, I shared the story as well. And if you read my book, you kind of find out a little bit about the story in my book as well. But I was just doing whatever I want to do. I was not disclosing because I just didn't care. I was in denial. I was like, well, as long as I ain't have no outbreak, I'm fine. Okay. And thank God nobody got it. But I ended up telling a close friend of mine, because I had sex with one of her best friends. And she freaked out. She said, you didn't tell him. Did you tell him? I said, what you talking about? Because literally I had totally forgot, because at that point I had pushed it so far in the back of my mind and I wasn't having outbreaks, so I wasn't thinking about it. She said, you know what I'm talking about, because we was at a party. I said, oh my God, I didn't tell him. So she got so mad at me. She's like, Belize, you got to tell him. So okay, I'm going to tell him. I was dragging my feet. I'm not going to lie. I was dragging my feet. She ended up telling him on my behalf. I was so mad at her. I said, why did you say that? Well, at the end of the day, that's my friend, and he needs to know. So at the end of the day, I appreciated her, because we're still friends to this day. I've been to her wedding. She was in my wedding. I still appreciate her to this day for what she did. But the sad part about it is the dude got mad at her, like, why you didn't tell me? She was like, because that wasn't none of your business. The only reason I'm telling you now, because you are my friend. You know, but just telling her business just to be telling her business wasn't beneficial to you. You know, so sometimes I was like, guys, do not put your friends in sticky situations, or don't even get involved in some of that stuff. Now, it's different if it's a brother, it's a sister, or something like that, and you kind of just like, look, I got to say something, whatever. I respected her for it, or even tell them, look, I'm going to tell them because you tripping. You know, you need to let them know. Now, if they say no, they're going to have to live out the consequence, but it's kind of hard when you know that person they're having sex with and they're putting them at risk. So that's a difficult situation in itself. But she did that. Like I said, I was mad at her, but then after a while, I appreciated her, because I ended up reaching back out to him. I told him, hey, don't take that in here. Close this refrigerator. Put that up. I told him, and I apologized to him. He was like, well, I'm not going to tell your business or anything like that. He's like, but I'm mad at her. And I got mad at him, because I was like, how you mad at her when she didn't have sex with you? You would have never known she didn't tell you. You know, but he was like deeply in love with her and mad at her because she was in a relationship with somebody else. So it was a whole nother deeper story than that. But at the end of the day, guys, like, I would really tell you, when you got a friend who is in this situation, it's fairly difficult, because if you don't have the virus, it's fairly hard. And also, if you had a virus, but you're not having the same struggles they are, then it's still difficult for them to understand. And they're going to have to learn from situations and consequences. And honestly, we're in a time frame where it's nothing to play with, and you can be sued in some states. Some states you can be sued if it's very openly you knew. It's in, you know, your records, and you knew. And that person did not have the virus prior to this, and you give it to them, you can be sued. So my whole thing, don't play with that, you know, type thing. If you know, then let me help you. Watch videos, do whatever you need to do. But if you're not ready to disclose, then don't get in a relationship and do not have sex with people, okay? That's just to keep you safe. People are crazy these days. So my boyfriend got his results back, and he too has the virus. So since we both have it, do we use protection, or how do this work? Honestly, since both of y'all had the virus, it's really no biggie. Now, my whole thing is, it depends on location. So if y'all both have it in genital, then y'all really don't have any issues at all. You know, well, let me not say that. So If y'all both have it genital, y'all know y'all can, like, y'all know it's skin to skin contact. I don't know. Yeah, skin to skin contact. So my whole thing is things can be passed, but it is, if it's the same type. Let's put it like this. If it's the same type, you really have no big worries in same locations. Okay. Now when it's in different locations, that's when things get different, cool. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, you have it here, he have it there. Y'all can pass it because of oral. Now, as y'all know, if you're not having outbreaks, y'all are in a safe place. Really don't freak out about shedding. Like I tell y'all all the time, don't worry about what you cannot control. Long as y'all are doing something, which is, I would suggest y'all do olive leaf extract. I wouldn't strongly suggest y'all to do medicine. Now, if that's what y'all want to do, cool. But just to reduce the shedding, but as long as y'all are not having outbreaks at that time, which y'all need to really worry about more than anything, then y'all find it's not going to increase no outbreaks just because y'all both have the virus or anything like that. If y'all choose to lose protection, that's between y'all. That's not my decision to make. That's between you two and what y'all feel like is best. One thing I do want y'all to say is don't think one is better than the other, especially if they got different locations. Nobody's better. Nobody. Y'all both have herpes. Just do whatever you need to do and just live on the same way you would if that person didn't have the virus. It's the same that you'll live with it. But this person understand what you're going through. They understand the struggle. They understand the fear, things like that. But y'all just need to have a lot of communication, same way you would if somebody didn't have the virus. Make sure communication is key because y'all need to make sure that y'all just not having outbreaks. That's, pretty much it. Which now you have somebody standing by your side to help you through this, and you help him through that. Don't let this virus kind of cause a strain on y'all relationship, though. Y'all just need to communicate. But no, it doesn't affect anything. Y'all can agree. So do we continue to take the medicine? That's up to you guys. That's not my call. That's not my call. Most people take the medicine to prevent giving the virus to somebody else, but he already have it. So I would just say if you're going to take the medicine, you're only taking the medicine to reduce shedding. That's it. That's pretty much it. You're not taking it, if you're trying to reduce outbreaks, but most people only take the medicine strongly to reduce transmission. Because I'm not lie, like the medicine helps with outbreaks, but it really helps you speed up your outbreaks. It really don't prevent them fully. You got to learn your triggers to assist that. You can't just take the medicine and like be out the wild thinking that you may not have an outbreak. It's not a cure. It's suppressants. And it's suppressed when you working hand in hand with whatever your triggers are and maintaining. But it's up to you guys if y'all want to take medicine. If the medicine is working for you guys, use it. But it also helped with the shedding piece. Okay, thanks. Wasn't sure. Yeah. It's up to this is where you and him gotta do a lot of communication. Like I can give you like things, but I'm never gonna tell you exactly an answer because that's between you two. Y'all have to come to agreement on what y'all feel like is best for you guys. But no, it won't increase any outbreaks for you. I won't. No, that's not true. Just because you're with somebody who has the virus doesn't mean that virus become a super virus. No, it does not. It don't work like that. I hope that helped. Anybody else have any questions? Oh, I'm on Valtrace. Okay. I'm on Valtrace and he was giving medicine too. Okay. Okay. My whole thing's communication. Make sure y'all talk to each other about everything. Don't hold anything in. Support him through this because you know how I feel when it first found out. You know how hard it can be. So support him. He may not want to talk, but just be supportive to him and just understand how he can feel because you've just been there. Any more questions, guys? I just seen things that he is having unprotected, unsafe sex. Well, I will tell you, for the young man who up here with your friend, you're going to have to pray for your friend because your friend is putting it, your friends at a place in their life that they don't care. They're not being sexually responsible, and they're being reckless. And the number one, most people who have herpes, and I know, end up getting this and just feel like my life is over anyway, so I don't care. I'm just going to enjoy my life anyway. But just not understanding the fact that he's bisexual can increase his risk of getting HIV, especially if he's dealing with men, and that's not guaranteed. But right now the numbers are high, so I would tell him not to use protection, and also please disclose. And you got to understand that since he has herpes, it will increase his risk of getting HIV, and I will never want him to contract something else just because he's in denial and he's not in a healthy place. Wouldn't it be better to get cured for the STD herpes and then get in a relationship is stress free? Or everyone, what do you think? My thing is, where the cure? Right now, we can't speak on something that doesn't really exist at this given moment where I believe exists. But at the end of the day, at this point that it's not approved by the FDA, so we're saying we're going to wait until something may happen 20, 30 years down the line, or 10 years or 5 years. We don't know. It ain't going to be in a year. I know that you're going to wait until that point and to get into a relationship. That's not realistic. It's just not. It's not realistic. My whole thing, that's like telling somebody, since you have cancer, not to get into a relationship. That doesn't stop anything. Herpes doesn't stop anything. Anything you dealing with in your life is stressful. It's like telling somebody don't get in a relationship if you ain't got no job. My whole thing is like, who knows why that person don't have a job? You don't know the situation. And it doesn't mean they're not in a good place to be in a relationship. You know, and I'm not belittling you in any way, but I feel like right now that is just not the best thing to think, because we don't know when that ever is going to happen. It's different if it was on the radar. If we had it on the radar, then I would say, okay, understandable. We'll have it in the next year or so. They give you time to get to a good place. But honestly, guys, a lot of us, if we got the cure right now, your man would still be screwed up. I'm not going to lie. A lot of us minds would be screwed up because you're going to be terrified. Just because you got a cure doesn't change the behaviors. It don't change the fear that you had. It doesn't change the experiences that you had. So my whole thing, I feel like I'm put here is to prepare you guys. So when this cure do come, that you're in a place where you love yourself and you accept yourself, despite what happened to you, you still accept yourself. Because if you don't accept yourself now, what are you being cured is going to be enough? No, you're still going to be having those thoughts. Those thoughts don't go away. They don't. They just don't disappear just because you got some medicine. It don't. It sounds good, but it don't. I know people who've been cured for gonorrhea, chlamydia, and they are screwed up a little bit, okay? Yeah, they be like, I'm good, but it's traumatic. It really is traumatic. Because it's a fear, you know, just because you're cured doesn't mean you're not going to get it again. That's something else we got to also realize. Like, yes, I want a cure, but we got to understand herpes is so common, the chances are it's going to be like gonorrhea and chlamydia that you're going to constantly come in contact with it, and you got to constantly get cured from it. And as we know, at this point, gonorrhea is getting to a point where it's about to be uncurable. Just because the virus is starting to, it's getting really complicated. You know, so I want it, but I feel like, sadly to say, we just got to get better with sexual health, because ain't no point of getting a cure. We're going to keep turning around and getting it over and over. I mean, and I ain't trying to say that in a mean way. I ain't because I'm trying to keep people with herpes, but what are we going to do as a community, and I ain't talking about just African Americans, but as a whole, to reduce the rates of STDs, period. We need to reduce that, period. So when we do get cures for things, that we don't have to worry about people to continue to get reinfected over and over and over again. We need to reduce that more than anything. But I'm going to be honest, like, nobody's waiting on nothing to get into relationships. It sounds great. It's broken people out here all the time getting into relationships. People want to be loved. They want to be in relationships. They want to be happy. So if the numbers are 1.13 and no outbreaks, well, you have herpes. You just not having outbreaks. You don't have to. He's really kind of shying away and not really want to talk, but I'll be there and give him communication with me. My whole thing is he's in shock mode. Just remember how you felt. Just remember how you felt when you had this virus. Just remember how you felt. Absolutely. So I called the CDC and they told me that they're not looking for a vaccination because people are still having sex, safe or not. I never know that herpes was so easy to get. Sex is really not safe at all. Really, it's really not. Sex is risk. Cancer is not something you can give to someone. I think it's different. I'm not saying wait 20 years for a cure for herpes. Everyone that gets it, maybe or other STD is very happy to get happen to be getting a cure. I understand that, but my whole thing is, based off how I'm reading it, is that you're saying, let me go back up. Wouldn't it be better to get cured from this STD herpes and then get in a relationship? It's stress free for everyone. What do you think? Right now, herpes is not on the radar to get a cure. Since herpes is not on the radar, to me, that comment is kind of like saying that don't get in a relationship. And I know that's not what you mean, but at the end of the day, since it's not on the radar, that's not even a thought. It's not even a healthy thought to have. You don't even want to think about not getting in a relationship, because right now, at this point, we don't see a cure in sight. And since there's a cure not in sight, I will never promote that type of thought to you guys, because at the end of the day, herpes is, you can manage it. You can very much manage it when you get to a place of learning what it is, learning how to function, and then it's no guarantee that you're going to give it to people. I don't been in relationships. I don't have helpful relationships. I don't have bad relationships. I don't help people get in relationships. I don't see people move on and not be in good relationships. It just all depends on the person's. But my point is, I understand your standpoint on it, but at this given moment, our community as a herpes community, we're not doing anything to push a cure heavy enough. Yes, we have Rich, and he's working hard writing letters and things like that, and he just received an email today, but it's still going to take time, guys. Stuff is just not going to pop up out the sky, and we're going to have to do more to back Rich and to back it, period, to see what we want. It's just not going to happen out of the wawa. And I would never want you to think that we need to wait on something to live. Like, that's basically saying I'm going to wait for love until I get cured. Like, I don't want nobody to do that. And you're right, cancer, you can't give it to nobody. But at the end of the day, some people being cancer, they're like, well, I got this. I don't want nobody taking care of me. I don't want nobody thinking I'm going to die, so I'm just going to be by myself. No, my whole thing is, somebody love you, let them love you. Despite where you are. But I understand your standpoint. I do. I don't want you to think I don't. Is it only possible to spread the virus to other parts of the body if your body hasn't yet developed antibodies to fight against it? Or can you still spread the virus with antibodies? Let me read that again. Is it only possible to spread the virus to other parts of your body? To other parts of the body if your body hasn't yet developed antibodies to fight against it? Or can you still pass the virus? The thing about it is, the virus can still be passed to other parts. That's only if. That's the thing. This is the interesting part, because at the end of the day, people pass it to their hands. People moved it to their eyes. All of these other things. And the virus has been in their body. It's skin-to-skin contact. Now, when we do read, it say, well, you can't pass it to other parts of your body. But if you know anybody who ever had chickenpox, they tell you not to touch it because you can pass it to other parts of your body. So my whole thing is, guys, we read different things, but this is what I will tell you. Okay? Since it's no solid information pertaining to that either. No solid information pertaining to that. Is when you dealing with your outbreaks, wash your hands. That's it. Wash your hands with soap and water to try to, reduce that chance, because at the end of the day, it can be passed to other parts of your body. It can. When it comes to the hands, you got to have a cut, or something like that. But it can. Just like if somebody got genital, they can end up getting, somebody, just say if somebody have genital herpes, and their partner, just say if they have genital herpes and their partner have genital herpes, but they perform oral sex on their partner and they having an outbreak and they don't know it, quote unquote, or they just not aware of their outbreaks. The chances are they can end up getting in their mouth. Like, that's the kind of like risky part. Now you have people who will say, well, if you already have that type, it won't move to another place. That's the tricky part about it, because it's no solid. CDC don't even talk about that. I ain't even gonna lie. They don't even touch much on it. American Sexual Association haven't talked much about it either. I'll just say, guys, just be careful. That's it. I mean, it's simple. Like, just wash your hands. That's all you can do. And it's not to freak you out, though.
You said you can ask any person, Queen. Most people want to date someone without an STD just to be honest, no harm meant. My whole thing is that's what you believe, but that's not fully true. I talked to hundreds of people who are in relationships. I have talked to thousands of people who are in a relationship and they have this virus. I've talked to thousands of people prior to this. I don't have friends who have been with somebody. My whole thing is a STD is not a make and break for everybody. Now, that may be your standpoint on it, but that's not a make and break for everybody. You can't speak for everybody. You can't. Just because you read some stuff on social media, that's fine. But just because you read it on social media doesn't mean that's how people live in their lives. People will say anything, but when they find what they're looking for in their face, they're willing to compromise. You know what I mean? So my whole thing, it sounds good, it feels good, and that's what you're reading, but you don't know people's lives and you don't know what they feel like is best. I don't know if you had a virus or not. I can't remember. I don't talk to so many people on here. But if you had a virus and you have that mindset, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a hard time if you have this virus. You're going to have a hard time because you're going to believe you don't deserve to have love. And sad to say, you do. And I don't want you upset with yourself thinking that everybody able to live a life because they ain't got no STD. Well, it's other people who have an STD and living their lives. So the only thing that's going to keep you is you just not living your life. You can't worry about who won't and who will accept you. Just get out here and find out who will. That's really the focus. That's really the focus. It ain't about nothing else. Everybody, this is not a deal breaker for everybody. It's just not. It sounds that way because that's how people say, but that's not true for everybody. It's too many people in this world. There's too many people in this world. And sad to say, 80% of people don't even know they have herpes. And most people don't even know cold sores and fever blisters herpes. You know people who have herpes and don't know they have herpes? Literally, I'm just going to be completely honest. But I understand your standpoint on it. But I want you to, if you had this virus, I want you to bust that. I need you to tear that mindset down or you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a real hard time. And that's for anybody else. You're going to have a hard time. If that's the type of mindset you have, you're not going to be with nobody. You're not going to date and you're going to be miserable. And I don't want that for y'all. I really don't. That's why I teach you guys how to overcome the stigma and overcome those thoughts and stuff like that. So you can just move on and just deal with whatever comes to you and just know like I'm going to push through. I'm going to get what I want. Regardless of what happens. I'm new on your channel. Hey, is it true that 80 billion... Is it true that 80 billion of the population has herpes? What do you think? My whole thing, I don't believe everybody. Like, think about it is, let's be honest. Like, if you ever had chickenpox and it's 80 billion, I'm only going to talk about the United States. I can't talk about the whole world. Let's talk about the United States. In the United States, if you're in the United States, majority of us has to get a vaccination. Vaccination is typically chickenpox. So most of us already have herpes of some sort. Okay, we have herpes because you end up getting the chickenpox vaccination. Some people haven't got vaccinated. But most, by school, typically you had to get vaccinated. So that's one strand of herpes. Then you have this type of strand of herpes. I don't believe everybody have it. It ain't the whole world. It's 1 out of 6. Now 80% of people do have it and don't know it. But we also got to realize a lot of our statistics, you got to figure out how did they get these numbers? And I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I learned from the director of infectious disease in Georgia. She said, herpes is not a reportable STD. So just imagine, it could be higher. We don't know. But it's not being reported. It's not a reportable STD. So you're asking me a question that I can't give you information on because even the infectious disease director of Georgia don't know the information because it's not reportable. Now, I will tell you what the little information we do have, which 1 out of 6 in the United States have the virus and 80% of the people don't know they have it. Then a lot of people have herpes and they don't know it. Number one, because they're not testing us for it. Number two, because we're just not educated. So just imagine how many people are walking around with the virus and have no clue. And they the ones talking about, I don't want to be with nobody with an STD. And that's not shade, but I'm just saying, it's people who are saying that, and then you ask them, have you ever had a cold sore? Like, oh yeah, since I was a little kid. Oh, okay, you end up getting it as a child. But you did not know that you can end up passing that to somebody else. You know? So, that's an interesting question, but at the end of the day, I do believe it's way more people who have it, but it's just not fully reportable because we're not testing. I feel like if they fully test, the numbers would be out the roof. I really do think the numbers would be out the roof. You're welcome. People lie about having STDs. You true. People lie all the time. People lie all the time. Like, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like, y'all, like, many of us have came in contact with gonorrhea, chlamydia, so many different things over time. We just end up not catching it. Just because you have sex with an STD doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get it. Like, it's so interesting, but it's just, I know many people on camera, like, found out that their partner had gonorrhea, chlamydia, but they didn't have it at all. Or you find out you had herpes, but your partner didn't have it at all, and y'all know y'all been having on a protective set. Y'all know y'all been doing all this stuff. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, it's like, just imagine how many people are having sex with people with STDs and never get it, or people know they have these STDs. They're in their process of their treatments and not saying anything, or did not finish their treatments, or simply did not even know, because we know gonorrhea and chlamydia are very silent. You may not have any symptoms at all. So with that being said, that even adds another issue, because many people don't even realize they have a STD. That's the sad part. Most people don't even figure out they have gonorrhea, chlamydia. Well, some ladies end up figuring out because of symptoms, but most people don't realize until they go get tested, or somebody come back and say they have it. It goes so very much unnoticed. And that's the sad part about many of these, gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes. It goes unnoticed. HPV too, some of the strands go unnoticed. You don't realize it. Don't realize it at all. STDs have no face. You're right, they don't have no face. The finest people in the world right now have something. As we know, looking like Usher has herpes, we don't know. He never came out and kind of said he didn't. But at the end of the day, I think he is really cute, But it's so many people out here who have STDs. And I'm going to be honest, that's not stopping Usher from getting a woman. The woman's still going to throw themselves at him. So, and not just because she's Usher, just because, people think he's attractive. R. Kelly, correcto. I mean, we just live in a world where, like, when people want something, they don't care what you bring. They don't care what you bring. You guys are asking real questions. Good questions. Really good questions. But I truly do believe a lot of people got herpes. They just not reporting it. I wish they would report it, so then we can kill the stigma even faster, because then people will know they have the STD. But main reason most doctors don't like talk about it, because we have nervous breakdowns when we find out we have this virus. Everybody's mental state go up in flames. Like, herpes causes mental disorders. It really do. People get very depressed and get super suicidal when they find out they have this virus. And that's why many doctors don't even like talking about it, because they was like, I don't want to bring it up because you're going to start freaking out. Start freaking out. Freaking out. Yeah. Pizza. Pizza. I'm not giving you nothing else. You can go drink some water. Yeah.
I feel like milk.
You drunk? Yeah, you drunk your milk. No. Y'all have any other questions? The guy who gave me is still the guy who gave it, but the guy who gave it to me still in denial and doesn't want to get tested. You can't control him. You can't control him.
Is this chocolate milk?
Yeah, you can get some more chocolate milk if you want it. But you can't control them. I know we be wanting people to be responsible. We want people to do better, but that's not, you can't control people. All you can do is control yourself. And what I'll tell you is stop worrying about him.
Oh, I didn't get some ice yet.
Stop worrying about it. You can't worry about it. You really can't. You can't force him to go get tested. You can't force him to accept it. You can't do none of that.
I got some ice.
Sometimes we wish we could, but we can't. That's not your job. It's not to try to get people to do what you want them to do. Sit down with that cup. I know how irritating that can be, especially since he shifted your whole life, though. It's hard, but you can't do anything. Put that down. Your brother gonna lose his bubbles. Hey. Good. I'm proud of you. It's been 5 years. Well, you still, like, honestly, I would tell you, don't even worry about it no more. It's not even something to even bring up. It was 5 years ago. You can't control them. I hear that story a lot. I hear that narrative a lot that, whoever gave it to them, they don't want to. You being messy. But they don't want to do anything. They don't want to prove anything. You can't force them. Especially if you feel like they can give you clarity, but you can't force people to do that. So clean it up. And you can't wait anybody to apologize to you. You can't wait for that stuff. Because if you do, sometimes you'll be waiting for a lifetime. And you don't hell your life up waiting on them. I watched a lot of your videos. My question is how often you have an outbreak. I had 2 so far this year. And that was because I'm not getting enough sleep. I just been really busy. But typically I used to have like 3 a year. 3 to 4 a year. And that's simply just because I knew my triggers. I knew what caused my outbreaks. He got a girl pregnant, so I wanted him to get tested for the baby's sake. Stop worrying about him. You worrying about the wrong thing. That's none of your business. He's not your man. He's not your man. You can't worry about that. That's her business and their business. That's none of your business. As much as you care, you can't. It's none of your business. He's not any of yours. He has his own life. He controls his own life. I really want you to let that go and stop worrying about it. Is it easy? Absolutely not. But you're worrying about somebody who is in a whole nother relationship, living his whole life. Don't worry about his life. What happens with him and his child is between him, his child, and the mama. That's their business. It's none of yours. We got to stop trying to get in between that. It ain't got nothing to do with you now. It don't. Were they really bad? No. They just itch. I get like 1 bump and it be itchy. That's it. Herpes is one of those things that when you find you have, sorry to say this is a blessing, not wishing for this, but the gods work many ways to stop you from things. Yay and nay. Yay and nay on that one. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants an STD. We're not going to sit here and kind of like, oh, it's great, But at the end of the day, we just got to understand that sex is risky. And I feel like that's what we don't get. Nobody's teaching us that sex is risky. What we're being taught that sex is pleasurable. Do it with people that you love or like or barely know or just can do it really well. And you're going to be fine as long as you're using a condom and you go get tested and make sure you're good. That's what we're being taught. Now, when you do get an STD, it opens your eyes to realize how uneducated you are and how much the system is not educating us from, childhood on. We're lacking a lot of information. And I do believe it opens your eyes. Like when things happen to you, it opens your eyes to what you lack and what you didn't know and how to prevent you from going down that road again. So no, I won't say it's always a blessing because everybody don't feel like that. So I don't want to say that because everybody don't feel like that. Some people believe this is a curse because it has shifted their lives and make them feel like crap. Life has been really hard. So I would never say that. I don't even like saying it's a gift. I don't believe it's a gift either. I feel like at the end of the day, it opens your eyes to realize that you're not exempt. And as you continue to be involved and with another person, you're at risk of catching something. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Yeah. Why don't you ever do highlights from the events and trips you do? My whole thing, I don't do a lot of highlights because everybody don't want to be posted. I'm very private with the people I see. Everybody don't want to be posted. What I do, everybody's not trying to be. I'm out and about of what I do. So I cannot post everything that I do or who I'm with or everything because at the end of the day, what I do, everybody don't want to be outed. And they pictures could be across social media. I would never do that to anybody. So I'll post to people who are comfortable, things of that nature. But I'm very, very respectful of what I post on my social media when other people are around. Because I never want anybody to feel uncomfortable or somebody come and say, oh, I see you on that girl page. I don't want any drama for people just because, they're trying to get support. So I understand. I'd be wanting to post pictures and stuff like that of people that I meet because I meet people and I'd be excited. I may keep it to myself, or I may put it in a group or something like that I'm in. But typically I will never put a lot of stuff on my social media site because at the end of the day, it's just depending on the people are there. Everybody what we do, everybody don't want folks knowing like what if they're in contact with me. So but I just did a event. It was an HIV event, but those people are pretty open. But I'm still very private about who I post. Because at the end of the day, I just don't want anybody to feel like they're getting judged because they were on my page. So, I only post who feel comfortable. But I wish I could. A girl I know said that hers itch bad. She said that she scratched so bad she draw blood, then it gets a yeast infection. It can itch real bad. I'm not gonna deny. Mine be itching like crazy. I feel like I'm gonna want to scratch my life off, but I know better not to scratch. I don't scratch. I use tea tree oil, a mixture of tea tree oil and coconut oil to, reduce the itching for me. And things like that. But I don't scratch because I know better not to scratch. It's gonna make the situation worse. It's gonna make the situation worse. I wish I wasn't. I wish I wasn't a stigma of herpes. Some people get tested different. As a black woman alone, we have a stigma. What do you think? I mean, at the end of the day, the stigma of African American women has been created from history, like from slavery and on. So that situation is so much deeper than herpes. So that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But I feel like just because the world want to stigmatize doesn't mean we have to live in it. That don't mean we have to. We have to live, like, we don't have to live in it. We don't have to live it out. We don't have to let it control us and manipulate us to function in it. Like, my whole thing is, yes, we have herpes, but you don't have to let it get the best of you. You really don't. Is it easy to get over or move forward? No. That's what I don't want y'all to think. I don't want y'all to think like I just like, oh, one day Belize was just good. No, it took me 7 years to get to where I was to even disclose, and even come out, and I still wasn't in a good place. Where I am today is 10 times better. I still have moments that I was like, oh crap, I got to tell this dude. Like today, I went to I was working out. My trainer my trainer is cute, okay? He is really cute. He don't know what I do, but me and him was talking, and I had seen him for a while, and he was like, oh, I do radio, whatever. So I started telling him I do YouTube and all stuff like that. He said, what do you do? I said, well, I help women with herpes. He was like, wow, type thing. So, even in that moment, I froze because do I want to tell him what I do? Because because I still think about it too. Yes, I am out and about, but I know the stigma is real. But I said, you know what? I can't worry about what he think. And he was impressed. He was like, okay, cool. That's cool. I never heard nobody doing that, type thing. So I have to get over it too. I don't want y'all to think that Belize is just over it. No, I have days as well. But what the only difference is I just don't let it keep me. I just push on. I say, you know what? I had a thought, but I'm not going to let it keep me. I'm going to keep living. I'm going to keep doing what I know is best for me. And that's living my best life. Living my best life. Sadly, I'm going to be honest. Some of us with this herpes live a better life than people who ain't never had an STD in their lives. My whole thing is your situations don't have to make your life bad. Well, we all go through bad things in our lives. Nobody's life is perfect. I don't care what you say, but no one life is perfect. But my whole thing, some people, it look like their life is better than yours. And you're like, why are they so miserable? Because it's something that they're not happy with. And some people might look at your life and like, girl, you got it all together. And you're like, girl, you don't know what I got going on in my life. So everybody got their own perspective. Their own views on things. But I feel like the whole black woman thing is so rooted, and I feel like with so much power that we have now and us just killing the game right now, we don't have to sit there and let this stuff stigmatize us. We just don't. We don't. We push on and we do what we do best. It's be great. It's be great. And speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. But I understand your standpoint in there too, sweetie. I thank you for your honesty and the way you explain things to us. Absolutely. I want y'all to understand that I don't want y'all to ever feel like I don't understand your point of view, but I also looking from this point of view of being an African-American woman and understanding how we are already kind of like looked upon as these mean black people. Like, we're just mean bitter, all this stuff. And when this happened to us, they already saying that we're so sexualized and, we're promiscuous and all this stuff. And like we said, it's so many different situations of why women do what they do. And it's not every woman ain't out here having sex with 100 something dudes. And I'm just exaggerating. But every woman ain't like that. And many women who are doing that, it's not because they want to. They kind of seeking for something. And then you got some women who are just free beings. And they're just like, I just want to do whatever I want to do, type thing. But it's always an underlining when you start finding out what's going on with them. But we have been abused, we have been raped, we've been molested, we have been put down, we've been shunned, we've been through a lot, and it's not easy. But I speak to us the way that I know we can understand and break down, and I try to encourage us, or anyone who get on my page, because everybody on my page is not African American or a person of color. I just want us to be encouraged to know that whatever you go through, that life doesn't have to be bad just because you went through something bad. Your life doesn't have to be a result of what your situation. I know people who have been in worse situations than some of us have been, not everybody, but worse situations, and was able to thrive in life. And they were able to heal from it and not let it keep them, but use it to fuel them to live a really great life and, be successful or do whatever they choose to do. So I'm here to encourage you guys to live on, not to live in, but live on. Okay? HSV is not herpes. HSV, so herpes simplex virus is not HIV. No, they're two different viruses. Sometimes people get confused, but it's two different viruses. Thank you for the teacher on coconut oil. Okay? Oh, no problem, boo. That was my go-to. Mind control. The mind thinks what the mind wants. My whole thing is, I won't say the mind thinks what the mind wants. The mind thinks what you allow it to think. My whole thing, if you tell the mind something, it's going to believe whatever you tell it. So if I tell myself that I am worthless, I tell myself I'm disgusting, I tell myself that I am damaged goods, I tell myself this, my mind's going to believe that. And then my mind's going to protect. If anybody tell you something like, girl, you're a good person, you're like, no, I'm not. Because your mind, it protects whatever you tell it. The mind do what you tell it to do. It think what you tell it to think. You got that narrative. And I feel like some of us forget that we have the narrative because the mind do what you tell it to do. Or what somebody else tell it to do. Which one is going to be, whose voice is going to hold more weight. And I would say that stop letting other people's voices hold more weight in your life. And then be careful what you're saying to yourself. Be careful what you're saying. I'm not saying not to be transparent with yourself and saying that you're feeling down, you're feeling out, you're having a bad day or whatever. But still, you need to be being nice to yourself. You need to be loving of yourself. You need to be giving yourself some affirmations. Because at the end of the day, if you don't tell yourself that, you can't expect other people to do it. And when they do it, the question is, are you going to believe it? Because you don't even barely believe what you say coming out your own mouth. You are the first person you got to learn how to trust. And half of us do not trust ourselves. But then we're like, I got trust issue. You're right, because you don't even trust your own self. It's time for us to learn how to trust ourselves. What we do to ourselves, we end up doing to others. Or sometimes lack thereof. You love on people, you give to people, but they never get to yourself. I just want us to be kind of selfish this year. Like, start worrying about you and what you need and what you feel and how to get to a place of that you are happy in your own life. I'm not saying that things are not going to happen, but you constantly stay in a happy state even when bad things happen to you. You have control. Trust ourselves. Say that again, sister. Yeah, we have to. I feel like some of us are a little upset that we heard the voice tell us. For me, I'll say the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit told me, don't mess with that boy. Don't have sex with him. You already know he's shady. You know what he doing ain't right. You know what you doing ain't right. And I did it anyway. And poof, this happened to me. And I think sometimes that makes us so mad because it's like, I heard it. My gut told me. And I didn't listen. And you just pissed at yourself. You pissed. My whole thing is, number reason why you didn't listen to yourself because you don't trust yourself. You think you be hearing stuff. You think you don't be right. You got to learn how to trust your gut. It don't be lying to you. Or if you hear something you're not sure, take some time to kind of like, okay, I heard that I'm feeling like he kind of shady. I'm feeling like she got an extra boyfriend or she talking to some other dudes on the side. Start paying attention to find out if that's true before you move forward, getting involved with that person. Some of us are just going based off how we feel, but not going based off what we know for sure. Like, take some time. Nice book, Damaged Goods, by the doctor who has the virus. Yes, it's a good book. It's a good book. And it's on Amazon if anybody wants it. It's a really good book. Yep. We have to learn how to trust our gut. We have to, guys. Like, you have to. And I feel like the only way that you learn how to, and I'll say for me, the way I learn how to trust my gut is knowing who I am. And I feel like when you don't know who you are, you don't understand why to trust it. You know, like if you're still struggling with your own identity and things of that nature, then it's hard to trust who you are. But I feel like a lot of us are struggling because we're missing things in our lives. Some people are missing moms, they're missing dads, you know, or, you know, bad things are happening to them time and time out of their lives. They wonder, like, why this happened to me? And I want to say something to you. Nobody can really explain to you why bad stuff happened to you. Like, I can't explain it. But it's bad stuff don't happen to me too. Like, it's some stuff you're like, oh crap, that is just horrible. And some people's situations are worse than others. People have been abused. People have been constantly raped, molested. Like, it's been bad for some people. Some people have been in sex trap. I don't hurt it all, you know. But we can't explain that part. But my whole thing, in the midst of all of that, you still got to figure out who you are. You're not what happened to you. You got to figure out who you are out of all of that. When you push all those bad situations back, pull all the layers back, all the hurt back, all the pain back, who are you? And a lot of us are not aware of who we are, what we think, how we feel about ourselves, why we feel that, or even are those our thoughts? Because a lot of us are just thinking other people's thoughts. Do you believe finding out that you have herpes make you stronger mentally, emotionally, and physically? Yay and nay. I was always pretty much strong-willed. Mentally, I was always strong-willed. What it did do was make me more aware of my behavior, made me more aware of what I didn't know, made me more aware of the neglect for myself and trying to please people and trying to get an understanding for everybody else, but never get an understanding for me. So I feel like, you know, finding out I have herpes truly opened my eyes to my capabilities, that I am strong-willed, that I am bold. I'm willing to speak out against things that other people won't. I'm willing to stand my ground. I love people. I love giving to people. It made me see my characteristics, but it also made me see my weaknesses, that, you know, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, that, you know, things happened to me and I kind of buried it and act like, you know, it didn't affect me, but it really did. So I feel like it brought the good out of me. It let me see the great things about me and also seeing the worst of me. Like, it made me realize, like, oh crap, I need to fix this stuff. Like, it needs to be fixed. This underlining is causing me to make some bad decisions in my life, because for so long I didn't really understand why I kept making the similar decisions, not knowing, like, a lot of that stuff that happened over the years was the reason why I kept making those decisions in my life. So I say yay and nay because I was pretty much, like, mentally strong. Emotionally, I was kind of wrecked. I was able to put up a facade. Physically, I'm strong. I'm able to hold myself together in some tough situations. But mentally, I feel like my mental state changed completely. It made me grow up over these 9 years. It made me seriously grow up. It'll be 10 years in April that I had the virus, and it made me grow up. It made me realize, like, Belize, you got to take responsibility for you. Nobody else's job but yours. If you don't ask no questions, it's you. You got to ask questions. You can't expect people to do that because everybody don't know what you know. We live in a world where we think everybody know better. I'm sorry, everybody don't know better. You don't even fully know better at times. We live in a world that everybody just know everything. Everybody just got all the common sense in the world. I'm sorry, we live in a world that we're learning the world. We're still learning in this world. As long as you here, you're going to be learning something. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's a know-it-all. Everybody ain't, you know, we're smart and intelligent, but you just still don't know everything. We're always giving lessons, and we just hold people at a certain level when they make mistakes. And I feel like we just got to let people make mistakes. You know, let people make mistakes. It is so. I love that. How are you? I'm good. I'm in a good place. I'm stronger than I ever been. mentally, most importantly, spiritually, I am so much stronger than I ever been. I've learned to listen to my gut. I have days I'm kind of shaky, but majority of the time I'm pretty good at listening to my gut, making sure, I'm listening to what is true for me. Learn to truly love myself and not to have people in my life who is like depleting me, and taking from me and not adding to me. I still give to a lot of people who kind of deplete to me. Like, you're going to have people who kind of can't really bring you nothing just because of the situation they're in, but not willingly letting people use me, because I used to let people use me and taking advantage of me, which I'm not in that place anymore. I'm in a more content place in my life where feeling like, I'm happy where I am. I know I want more, but I know it's going to require me to grow up more. It's going to require me to be more disciplined. It's going to require me to do more work. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with telling myself, oh, Belize, you're being lazy. You're not doing this. You're not doing that. I'm okay with telling myself, like, Belize, you're just scared and you need to figure out why. So it's a lot of more self-talk, kind of figuring out why I do or feel what I feel. Said true to what said. Well said, agreed. This is truly a spiritual walk to get it together. Yep, truthfully, it is. We are spiritual beings. We are. Like, I don't know what y'all beliefs are, but we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings. Just living in some flesh. But we are spiritual beings. We are. And I'm telling you, that was my thing of getting together was my spiritual life helped. When are you coming to Boston? I'm coming to Maryland. I'm coming to Baltimore. I'm going to Baltimore in July 2nd and 3rd. July 12th and 13th. You can jump over to Baltimore. That's where I'm coming to. I desire to come everywhere, but y'all guys, I can't come everywhere. Y'all going to have to come meet me some places. I choose certain locations based off stats. Y'all don't understand that I can see numbers. I can see where a lot of you guys are from. I can see like a lot of my followers are in certain locations. So I try to find somewhere that's kind of close to them. Things like that. And also where I have connections at. Like most of every state that I chose, I have a connection there of some sort that kind of help me work in that area because I can't be everywhere at once. Yes, Lord, God bless us all. Okay, God bless all of y'all. Absolutely. But I hope to come visit more states, but I would love for you guys to come wherever is closer to you. Whatever's closer to you. Any more questions, guys? We'll hit our hour mark. I hope this helped y'all in many ways. I hope I didn't offend anybody in any sort. Because that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to support you guys and love on you guys. So if anybody got offended, I'm sorry. That was not my intention. My phone's about to get ready to die. I'm about to do therapy and trying to eliminate toxic problems in people. I'm working on my mental health because without that, I can't improve myself or yourself. Correct. You can't improve yourself. Yeah, you're right. I agree. I'm proud of you for going to therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't make you feel. Don't stop telling yourself you're crazy if that's what you're saying. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying, but don't even think it because you're not. There's nothing wrong with getting help. I'm a strong believer that you cannot get yourself out your own chains. You can get other people out their chains, but you need help with yours. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, sweetie. You are amazing. Nobody needs to be offended. You are a huge help. Absolutely. My whole thing is I have no problem with apologizing because at the end of the day, everybody have different walks of life. Everybody don't speak the same language. Everybody, don't feel the same. I don't know where everybody's mental state is on this video. Just because they're on here doesn't mean they're speaking. I have my people who talk all the time, and I got my people who just watch. And folks are going to watch these videos again. So I never want anybody to feel like, oh, she's just going to say what she want to say and not consider my feelings. Like, people's feelings matter. I know I have an influence on other people, and I never want to say something that can get them to spiral out. I would never want to say anything that can cause them to want to hurt themselves or feel like I don't understand where they're coming from, because I do in many ways, but I'm just in a place in my life where I feel like I want to continue to push y'all to say, come on, push. Don't get stuck in that thought. Don't get stuck in those ways. Like, keep pushing, because until things like, if you want things changed, you're going to have to push yourself to see it. You have to push yourself to see it and to help of others. You're a positive role model, and I love you for it. Oh, I love you too, sweetie. And I mean it. I love all of y'all. Y'all are super supportive. I really love what I do. Y'all push me to be great. Was there ever a time that you felt that dealing with herpes would break you? Absolutely. Absolutely. In the beginning, I was like, I'm done. I'm sick of this crap. Like, I'm sick of it. Like, this is... Because I was already in a broken state already. I can say that. Like, I really wasn't happy in my life already, even though I was, in school. I was in college. I was doing really well in school. I was involved in stuff. But I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my interactions with men. I just wasn't happy with it. And when I got this, I was like, man, I already don't ever get a boyfriend. Y'all may not true, but I did not have boyfriends like that growing up. I had one when I was 15. And then I had one, he was really my only real boyfriend. And then I didn't really have another real boyfriend until my oldest son, father, which that was something. And then I ended up getting married. So really, I didn't have any real relationships prior to that. I had a lot of sexual partners, but I didn't have relationships. So that's why I felt like this was going to break me, because I didn't feel like, I never really got to experience something real. And I feel like this is going to take my opportunity to feel that, because I never had it. So I thought I was going to lose out on that opportunity. Which I'm not in a relationship now, but I don't have that same thought anymore. I believe, like, as long as I prepare myself and put myself out there, I'll run into somebody. I meet a lot of great people all the time, but at the end of the day, I want to make sure that we're a good fit for good fit for each other. Everybody's not going to be okay with me being so open about what I do, but I do meet a lot of guys who kind of like open about it, but I still want so much more than you just accepting the fact that I'm open with herpes. We got to offer each other way more than that.